Because when they say author here, they don't just mean actually author, as we understand. They actually mean source. Hello everyone, welcome to another Blue Hat SEO series episode. In this case, we will be examining an e-commerce website, and of course we are again using semantics mainly in this project too. I believe I didn't publish this project earlier, but there are a few interesting things in this project. The first thing is that it is using a content network that we created for an affiliate website, and since the affiliate websites have a major issue lately, due to their just content structure with zero function and zero perspectives and experience on them, due to also Google's precautions for AI generated content bloating or floating the web. Due to that, we added this specific topical map on the content network to this e-commerce website, and all the content started to rank way much better, as you also see in the screen. This is based on 3 months of comparison, and this is 6 months of comparison. This is basically year over year, 28 days of comparison. And here you see actually it's a very small website. And again, basically the number that you see here is not that much a great number. If this number would be actually like 0, you will see that the results here would be at least 30% actually way better as well. And if I go to for this website to demonstrate you the response time section, I can tell that it is not that bad. But to be able to demonstrate you one more time, the response time that you see in the refresh section and the response time that you see inside the discovery section are usually different from each other. In the last video, we also mentioned this one as well. The website actually is running on Shopify. So I can tell it from technical SEO point of view, it's not that strong. We didn't use any backlink campaign on that. It is just pure content, internal ranking factor optimization. The first suggestion from me to you is that if you want to actually use affiliate type of content on your website, either in e-commerce website or a regular website, try to have a functionality on that website. Because if you are not connected to the query from a search action, and if I search for this, for instance, schema.org, usually when you come to this action section, there are different type of actions that a user can perform under this area. It can be a search action or buy action or calculate action or any type of potential action that actually can be annotated in your HTML or in your website, either with an add to cart button, either with a calculator or application form. But basically your website needs definitely a function that provides an action. This is also coming to actually this misleading functionality Google spam policy. Let me search and show it to you. Maybe I can find it. Technically Google, not this here, probably I will be able to find it. In this area, you will see actually this misleading functionality section. If your website doesn't provide a functionality, or if it provides it, but if the function has been understood in a wrong way by the search engine, they will eventually actually try to decrease the ranking of that specific document. When it comes to this specific website, we didn't add this content directly to hornspause.com. Technically in this project, when we created a network for CBD oil for dog or for dog anxiety, dog depression, or basically treating XYZ type of dog diseases, etc. Most of the time, of course, the core section of our topical map was actually about mainly best CBD oils. But when it comes to the Hornspouse, we don't have multiple different type of CBD oils that we can actually promote. In this case, when you add a content network and when you create a topical map basically for a website, you will need to adjust it for the web type of the website. In this case, from an affiliate source to the e-commerce website, all the semantics and all the topical map and all the content network that we created, it has to be adjusted. This is actually the first thing that actually I would like to explain in this case study. Earlier, we had a similar situation also with Subtract.Monitor. In this website, for instance, at the beginning, it was a course website. That's why we created this topical map actually mainly for that purpose. Then the website decided to become actually a trading platform. And then we turned the entire topical map into a trading tracking or analyzing, let's say, focused content network as well. So what you do as a business will be directly affecting the topics that I am processing. Even if the topics are same, how I am actually connecting these entities to each other, with what predicates, with what nouns or what adjectives, it will be changing. So firstly, when sometimes you come to me by asking, actually, can you just check my topical map? This is the first thing that I realize, actually. You don't optimize things based on what is your source context. If you would like to understand this concept, I strongly suggest to actually join our community through our newsletter or try to check some of these basically videos videos, or you can also just talk to these people as well by asking these questions too. These are results directly from SEMrush. These are the results overall actually from Ahrefs. I would like to also give a second suggestion, a second topic I would like to mention. Even if a website was ranking like this in 2020, and if let's say it lost most of its traffic, it doesn't mean that actually it won't be coming back. Most people just give up from the domains very easily, but if you actually change your website and give enough level of, let's say, signals, you will be coming back at the same time too. When we created this affiliate content network, we didn't add everything here into the blog. Some of them are actually added to the category pages by adding an informational component to that, or we needed to actually change all the informational sentences to the technically commercial sentences. So when you look at the, let's say, informational sentences, usually they are sentences that go with is a or has a. When it comes to the commercial sentences, they usually start with an instruction like buy, purchase, compare, examine, or let's say ship, refund, etc. So there is some, let's say, document specs or the features that you should be paying attention to. You can actually define an entity while also giving an instruction. So when it comes to the authorship or algorithmic authorship to communicate with the search engine algorithms, you should understand these specific tweaking points, which we call as the micro semantics in this case. Here I will be mentioning a few patterns and one Google API link module for you to actually check. The first thing here is actually coming from Krishna Bharat, Amit Singhal, Paul Hart. When you see these engineers, you should understand that Google definitely uses this patent. And even if it is expired or not, what they write or what they put here is really important for them. In this case, they are trying to understand quality of the linked documents. If it says that quality documents technically link to other quality documents, but they don't calculate things here based on just the page rank, which means that actually if one of the documents quality is increasing, in this case, all the internal links will be carrying actually more weight and more value for them. The second thing in this area or in this specific pattern is that they directly, as I have shown earlier too, they directly try to calculate the distance between these pages, and also they are trying to reflect its, let's say, its context and also its page rank to the next one. Let's say internally a high page rank document is linking to a very low page rank document. Most of the time, this is something that you should also be a little bit paying attention to. In this case here today, calculate this ranking score. D here means actually basically document, and you see some of the, let's say, contribution score from a document to another document. I suggest to try to actually see some of these components and what type of structures they're actually putting here, because it's not just about what type of a content you are creating. When you increase the quality of a document, if it doesn't support any other document, it will be the optimal case in this case. But if you increase, let's say, 40 documents quality at the same time, and all of them actually link each other, search engine recognize this in a way much better way too. That's why usually when I change most of the documents, I make sure that they actually refer each other reciprocally, so the search engine actually keep recognizing them. That's one of the reasons that actually I suggest you to make this 0, because whenever they are, let's say, crawling this section and out of this section, if they crawl especially the most quality ones, it will be the best for you. When it comes to this one is about query augmentation. Here again, you will see Krishna Bharat. If somebody would ask me what is the best Google diagram from a pattern to explain actually in the simplest way how Google is working, I will say this one. You see most of the components at the same time here. There are publishers who publish documents, and this is the user device. User device has a search query basically, and we have the search results. The next section, we have basically a network that keeps getting the queries and keeps getting the published documents from publishers. And this is the search engine that also contributes to the same network. Then the query that actually user gives us from this area basically, that's why you see the same number here as well. Then we have an augmentation methodology. Query augmentation score technically reflects which query is more realistic. If you understand how Google actually is processing a query based on the documents or based on the clicks of the users, you can actually create way much more relevant documents. One more important thing here is, in the last video, I mentioned actually bet clicks from Google API link. This is what they do in this area. And this is what we mean actually when we say historical data. Historical data, which is part of Topical Authority, technically includes these query logs and the click logs. Based on these click behaviors or user behaviors and these performance thresholds, Google decides which actually query or augmented query is valid or which one actually is not valid. Google doesn't rank or create their search results based on the query that user searches. They create it based on the queries that actually they augment and they create in their system. So this is one of the differences between actually semantic SEO and traditional SEO. You optimize your documents and entire document network all all together for all these possible queries that Google actually will be creating. If you read these specific sections, actually you can understand, let's say, how Google actually can change the words of users in the search bar as much as possible. And this is actually what I have done in this project too, from an affiliate to the e-commerce project while we were migrating. Again, Krishna Bharat, basically I'm just following the engineer here. This will be one of the most fundamental actual patterns that created a topical authority in our framework. Because when they say author here, they don't just mean actually author as we understand. They actually mean source. A source can be a person as an author, or it can be a website as an author as well. In this case, they directly actually assign different type of reputation scores to the authors on different type of topics. That's why I try to tell you that usually you should actually try to, let's say, make your author also an entity, and your website should be an entity too. So you shouldn't try to rank a website. You should try to rank technically a web entity. This also brings us to the Google API leak. You should be definitely checking actually, let's say, this especially knowledge graph topic section here, but this is a little bit different. What they mean here as the web ref is actually web reference, and this is actually another name of the web answers. Sometimes some of these entities, they don't just actually have an identity number in their knowledge graph, they also are identified inside the web answers as well. Which means that if you put a website a proper content, and if that content is aligning directly with their, let's say, knowledge graph, you'll be actually increasing your trust signals in the eyes of the search engine by increasing also your authority and reputation. If this reputation is keep increasing for a topic for all the time for similar queries, like in these query logs or click logs, if they show always positive performance for you for all the possible augmented queries from the same topic, basically you will be increasing your authority in the eyes of Google, and Google will keep testing you further and further, and you will eventually be ranking higher. One more time, I would like to say that just because you lose some rankings here, do not just give up. We have this similar situation here too. We have this similar situation here too. It just keeps repeating the same actual ranking, let's say, fluctuation, but eventually it goes higher and higher as well. And in this area, I would like to give you another suggestion. If you have an e-commerce website, 100%, go and create actually your own Google Merchant Center account. In this area, you should be keep getting actually different type of store ratings from Google as much as possible. And most of the time, if Google is able to verify these reviews, or Google is also able to track actually shipments, if they verify that you ship the product on the time, they have some agreements with some of the companies, basically you will be getting this top quality store badge. It will be ranking you higher in the Merchant Center, plus also all the e-commerce related queries at the same time. You also see here that actually they are gathering all these reviews or all the reputation points, including with payment options in our website. All the social media accounts are also here too. So you should understand that we are not ranking a website, we are ranking a web entity through the surfaces of Google, either shopping, images, videos, or even short videos as well. And that's why I suggest you to actually open an account in Amazon usually too, or some of the other marketplaces, because if you are being recognized by these other search engines, Google also tries to recognize you earlier too, because they keep scrolling or scraping each other to gather the data or the information as well. And this is actually just a basically post from Google. It explains how Google sources and uses information in the brand profile, or how actually they structure this brand profile as well. Earlier, I explained this also for craft hosters, another case that I actually published in this Bluehead SEO case study series technically. I suggest you to check that as well. So I believe we slightly came to the actually end of this video. I will be making one more video for Subtract That Money. One more time we double the traffic. And soon you will see actual interview, or maybe that interview has been published already and you can also check that. Before closing, I would like to also mention a few members from our community as well. I don't know the exact name, but let's say Vasim. Thanks for publishing your success and your citation as well. Hassan Giuliani. Thank you for your success and also your citation. It means a lot for all of us. The same goes also to Hanzala Khan. He also has given a testimonial video for our course. He is now actually one of the private community members. Thank you for your success and contribution. Ahmed Khan always actually creates multiple different successes, so it's great to know as well. And of course, we are very happy for Noor. She actually published it like 1 month ago, but I would like to mention that as well. Behzat Hussein published his success again 1 month ago, but since I was very busy, I couldn't actually mention him as well. There are very much more different type of testimonials and successes here. I would be, of course, giving the stage for all of them. But basically, I mean, right now we have the 310. I'm taking most of these videos at the same time. But basically, we will be hitting to the 1,000 shares like that, and 1,000 maybe videos and etc. And again, these cohort meetings are keep going too. If you want, join to our community through this newsletter. It will be in the description area. Or if you want, join to our course, academy, or private or public community. But just keep researching and keep sharing as much as possible. Thank you. See you in the next time.